months. What's up? We're gonna today. I wanted to do two quick videos. We're gonna talk about mm, we're gonna talk about sexuality. Mine specifically because it's whack and I hate trying to explain it. So I'm gonna make a video doing it, so I won't have to do it ever again. That's a transition. My strap fell. This strap fall counter up future me. It's gonna suck. I hate it. Let's start at the beginning. What's sexuality? It's sexuality is what you like. It's what you're attracted to. But some people like to, like me, like to break it down to romantic attraction over here, sexual attraction over here. Romantic means you think with pure heart, mind. I don't know. Those are like the same thing, right? And sexual, you don't think. That's basically how that goes. I think, right? It's with your dick. That's what it is. I mean, it's really easy. Most people, honestly, I think it would be easier if most people just started. I'm this romantic. I'm this sexual. It'd be a lot easier to explain stuff to people instead of people thinking they're one and the same thing, which they are not. Not really, depending on who you are. Sometimes one overrides the other. It does for me. Guess that's really what matters. Next one is what am I? That's me. I am a demi-romantic bisexual. I'm going to start with bi first, because that one's easier to explain than demi. Demi's like a weird subgenre of of a sexuality. Let's start about bi. Bi means two, but it doesn't mean two in this sense. Bi just means, in bisexual, it means you're attracted to more than one gender because there's more than two genders, people. It's like a slider. Gender's a slider, and bisexual likes part of it. Maybe it's over here. Maybe it's over here. Maybe it's kind of like this. Not all of it. If it's all of it, you'd be pansexual, which is different. I'm not panicked, so I'm not going to try to explain that because I'm stupid. Now, let's go over here. I think I put demi over here. Demi romantic. You usually hear demisexual, but I feel like it falls more under romantic for me. Is a sort of breakdown of asexual. Asexual means you're not interested in sex or sexual stuff. Usually, maybe you find it gross or stuff like that. It's different for them. Asking an asexual about that. I'm not. Demisexual, usually it's like a heart on a flag instead of just like the ace stuff. Means that you don't form an attraction to somebody until you have, like, I think it's how someone worded it, is like a strong emotional bond. It's it's like when you get your social link up in Persona 10 or 7. I don't remember where the dating starts. Maybe it's 3. I don't know. It's been a long time. But when you get to that point, it's like, oh, I think I might like this person. And then you don't think about it because you're afraid of losing them or something like that. It's it's really hard to explain. It's basically, oh, I've known you for several years. Now I like you. Did I like you the entire time? I don't know. Emotions are hard. I can't feel them. Thanks, testosterone. You ruin everything in my life. Next up, well, what do they mean in tandem? Do you, I guess is how I should say it, is do you only become attracted to them after knowing them, or do you like, oh, maybe beforehand? I don't know. So how it is for me is I definitely have like aesthetic preferences. I can look at someone and say, oh, this is a person that would be considered attractive, but not to me. my like spectrum of attraction in like visual aesthetics for something I like is starts over here at feminine and goes like to the gray area between feminine and masculine. Masculine's unattractive. Men are gross. You. If it wasn't for non-binary people, I'd be a lesbian, but I'm not, because non-binary people exist, and non-gender conforming people exist, and they're usually nice and pretty. But does that mean if I were to form a strong emotional bond level 3 social link with a masculine person, would I become attracted to them? Maybe. I don't know. Possibly. It's a very high possibility because I've noticed a lot of my stuff does tend to go off personality or just how like I feel about the person in general rather than like visual aesthetic. I guess you could say sexual is like, you know, what, you know what I'm talking about, baby. Cat calling dude on the the sidewalk guy's like, I like what I see. I don't know what your personality's like whatsoever. And then like romantics like, oh, cuddle time. Then the last bit for it, because this one was, I was expecting this one to be short because the other one's going to be real long, is when did I find out? So I've always had like a real hard time feeling like basic attraction to people because I assume a hormone imbalance or just testosterone in general. I haven't been to a doctor for it, so I'm just making assumptions here. But I've never really known if I've had a crush on someone. Literally, I've had two people that have told me, "Hey, you were flirting with me. Do you want to go out?" I was like, "Was I? I didn't know I was doing that." And they're like, "Well, yeah, you were." Like, "Oh, okay." I'm really stupid. And basically, when I found out, I was like, "Oh, I might not be what I considered straight at the time," is when my best friend, Super Ninja 5506, you can find them on Twitter at Super Ninja 5506. Like, hey, I know you've been doing the when they asked me, I was like, oh, maybe I should think about this. Technically, there's a time before that with someone else where I did the same thing, which I feel awful about still, like a year over a long time later. That kind of like posed me like, maybe you should consider how you feel about people. Then like literally the person that matters, like my best friend in the world, asked me the same thing. Like, I think I might not be straight. And I'm like, okay, sure, let's try it. And we're coming up on our 2-year anniversary in like 5 months. I think I like them, guys. I think I might like my best friend. I don't know. We've been dating for almost 2 years. And that's basically the basics for it. But I did put out questions on Twitter for this about just like general stuff. I did get one. I didn't expect a lot, so I will pull that question out and talk about it real quick, because I'm going to also talk about it in the second video. Twitter.com. Okay, so the question I received on Twitter from @JChippersBoy is, how do you constantly deal with unaccepting family members when did you know you were part of the LGBT plus community? We'll start with the family members thing, specifically like attraction. We'll talk about gender identity in the other video. So the pushback I would get if my parents knew would be bad. So again, I'll go into more detail on this, but my parents are highly religious, and my mom was a missionary. if that doesn't tell you something, I can't tell you anything. Basically, they don't know, and they might suspect, but I've managed to lie enough times when they've asked me about it, and they believe me because I don't lie to them normally, and they're not gonna find out until I move away, and I'm 1,000 miles away, and there's nothing they can do about it. Though, I expect it to be bad. Like, I was here, I could hear my mom, like, when my sister came out as a lesbian to my mom after their confrontation. I don't know how that went. I was not there because I hate confrontation. It spikes my anxiety. So I was in my room. I heard my mom go to my parents' room, which is like sort of on the other side of the wall from my room, and I could hear her wailing, like screaming, like in like almost like agony. I think I know why. Is that like she's so certain in her beliefs that she does believe that my sister or anyone else who does believe that is going to hell or in it or something like that. I think that she's just so, I don't want to say entwined because I don't like giving religion a bad rap because I don't hate it, but I hate parts of it. It's that she's just so certain that it's right that she thinks that her daughter's going to be away forever. But that's basically how that went down several years ago. I know if I gave my mom the double whammy of, hey, I'm not straight, and hey, I'm not cis at the same time, I don't know how she would handle it, especially since she's told me several times that I'm the only kid that she's had. I'm the sixth child in my family, as a point of reference, that hasn't quote unquote messed up or fallen away. And I honestly don't know what that would do to her, but so like they're not like openly dis-supportive. It's that they just don't know when that I am and how that would affect like our entire relationship. It's gonna be weird. That's why I've elected to not like publicly like IRL come out until I've moved away, because I just don't want to deal with that fallout. And the other half is, when did I know? Like I talked about earlier, is when I got asked out for the first time, which was in 2018 November. So that's only 2 years ago, really. Again, like it's something I haven't really looked into because I didn't have crushes a lot when I was a kid. So like it's like, okay, that's a person. Okay, is basically how most of my like experiences went. I didn't have a lot of crushes, so I never really had to think of like, what do I like? There's like one or two instances, but I'll talk about those later.